Hello, welcome to Smileys. Tonight we're doing the discussion episode of Forge of Darkness Chapters 9 and 10 by Stephen Erickson. This is spoilers all for all modern books, except for the novellas. These don't matter. Which means
Which
the
is
important
only
bit.
because you not read them. That's the
Yeah,
only
because
reason
only
we are not
because I
going to
haven't read
spoil
them.
them.
But yeah, the TLDR is we're doing spoilers all for all modern books, including both Kharkanas books, provided they're relevant, and they will be. So if you've not read both Kharkanas books, you probably shouldn't be here. That aside,
Or if you don't care about spoilers, which is like the correct way to approach these books.
to be fair, yeah, it is Kharkanas, and we've gone over why we're doing this, but we're going off topic. Anyway,
I mean, if you don't
TLDR,
mind spoilers, welcome.
all.
That's what we want to say, right?
So let's actually get into the episode proper. So chapter 9 is, I think, when Forge of Darkness really kicks off. You have chapter 5, which is like when things get going with Arathan, and here is when things get going in Coral Gillane.
Yeah.
So, do you have any important impressions you want to share with the class after?
I think last time we agreed that each time we do this discussion episodes, we're going to have like a 1 line or 2 line.
Yeah, sure. So, do you want to do chapter 9? Do you want to summarize chapter 9 real quick?
Shall I summarize chapter 9? Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah? This happened. That's it. Whole of chapter 9 is nothing but Triss.
Accurate enough, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat that. But see, basically, Triss meets the Mother Shikanto. She comes to Kharkanas, sanctifies the temple. Now everybody is dark. The Andy has been born, and also the Leosin have been born. That's it. That's all that happens. We also get introduced to Riseherat and Endis Silan, who just talk, and Kaplo and Resh also just talk. But that's about it in chapter 9. Did I miss anything? I missed the whole point. Yeah.
No, it's fine. I think that like Triss happened covers it pretty much. Yeah, Triss happened. And the end of chapter 9 is where chapter 10 picks up of, the Legion attacked the caravan, Horfentel and co. Turns out they didn't kill everybody, and because the one guy that didn't kill is Quip Gallus, who was in Anomander's staff, they're panicking because if he or Orphantel get to Kharkanas, they're fucked. In the meantime, Sukul and the castle on Tula Hold are looking on. We get a whole bunch of exposition on like the Imash/Dog Runners, on Burn, on the rituals, and all that. Not very much happens. I'm trying to make it interesting. I'm trying to spice things up. But yeah, basically, they attack the caravan in chapter 9, and here we see the aftermath of that, along with some neat exposition for flavor. And we have just a dog, just Ribs, who's just a dog.
Yeah.
I still think it's just a dog, honestly. I think it's just like Steve is telling you he's just a dog, so that you believe it.
I think we came to the conclusion. Everything in chapter 9 is all metaphors and symbolism, and there is so much to dig there. And chapter 10 is just straightforward.
Just a dog.
Yeah. Trips is just a dog. Burn is just a dog runner witch who is sleeping and turned into wood. And that's it.
Oh yeah, should we talk about that? We didn't talk about that much last time.
Yeah, go ahead.
So,
do you think that is Burn?
Yes.
The goddess Burn?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
It's okay. Because we all have this doubt that whether Coral Gillane is in the same realm as Wu or it's in a different place. Like because they migrated through the rent in the sky and all that. So is Burn dreaming like multiple worlds? Or is it a different Burn? Or like the Maeve? Is it like dreaming old women all the way down? Because, I'm sure you have some answer for this. What is it?
So the predominant theory as it stands right now is that Coral Gillane, as we see it now, is Wu proper. And then Kharkanas at some point gets war-unified. And so they have to return from Kharkanas, who is now burning, to the main world, and the only invaders on the main world are the Kachane. Everyone else is native. Evidence of this for this mode comes from Wall of Light, the Azath Tower that we see in Umdus Falak, where Hood's gathering, is very reminiscent of the Azath Tower of Letheras. The geography is similar, but for the most part, I don't particularly care about this, to be honest. Like, personally,
it's not about caring about it, but what kind of theories do we have? That's all I want to know. It's not about...
the predominant theory that I've heard so far is that Who and what we see now, well, Kurel Galen becomes Who eventually.
Okay.
Partly. Because it's not the whole thing, obviously, right? Partly.
Okay. So, anything else that stood out to you?
So
from chapter 10, we might as well finish anything interesting.
We alluded to it in the chapter itself in the discussion, but they just casually throw out the eye mask cave that you like to give a soul taken. Just by the way, here you go.
Yeah. So this we sort of knew that the soul taken magic is extremely old, extremely ancient, and when the first emperor made it, like Decemblacus, when he split his soul or something, when he became soul taken, diverse, that magic was already present, right?
Yep.
So was what he got was like splitting into multiple? Is that what he did, something new? Like there was always the magic of soul taken, and was diverse new?
So in Fall of Light, Capello becomes diverse.
Right? Yeah.
And Draconis actually mentions that the ritual of divers comes from the Erisal. The people, the Erisal, not the goddess, the Erisal.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, just casually dropped, okay, here you go, by the way. But, yeah, we'll have to wait and see because I don't remember details. But evidently, since Capello is a divers and that magic has been seen before, it's clearly older than Symbolakis. Unless, of course, the Symbolakis is somewhere else currently doing his own thing.
He's already there, you mean? But
maybe.
Kalar is the High King. We can't have multiple.
The High King is on the Western Ocean, across the Western Ocean, on Dracoruhu, presumably, or somewhere thereabouts, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe not. But yeah, I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah. So we'll find out.
Yeah.
And anything else? Chapter 9. Rancept. I like Rancept.
Ransept's neat, yeah. Rancept is an interesting exploration of this, the denier, right? The faithless, the heathen, the infidel, which gets brought up quite a bit later.
This is what you kept saying, that there are deniers and deniers. So these guys are the ones with the dog runner blood who are the OG deniers who never accepted anything. They're hardly ticed. And then there are the actual ticed who turned away, who gave up this religious things and went into the forests. So those are the other deniers, the new deniers. But they're all treated the same according to the legion soldiers and everyone. Everyone is considered as bandits. And if they can mine and sell ore, the Hust will pay them money. So they're all treated the same, isn't it? So yeah, that's all. That's just an observation.
Yeah. Well, this says a lot about the... Well, we already talked a lot about classism in Kurel Galen because it's present in every fucking chapter, but the way, these heathens and infidels are treated is it's poignant. It's just disturbing.
Even the border swords, don't mingle with them. They might have lice and things like that. It's just it's so prevalent. But obviously it shouldn't make sense, and so it doesn't make sense that why is Draconis treated as an outsider and why is Urusander being treated this way, and it's all a big mess, isn't it? That's how it's perfect for a civil war. So what do the highborn people want actually? What do you think they want with regards to Mother
Highborn?
Yeah.
Basically it's just so Draconis introduces a power vacuum, right? Because he is powerful. On account of being the crotch boy of Mother Dark. But he is an outsider. He's not from, noble stock. He's a cousin of a cousin.
He's an adopted son. He's an adopted son.
And they just don't like him because of it. Because,
He's too good looking, so people don't like him.
Yeah, but as Draconis often does, he, broke the balance. He shattered the balance of power among noble families. Of like this is how things should be, because prescriptions exist to maintain the status quo. And what was it like? That was it Raskan that told Arathon that his father will break
To challenge the ways of the Teist men.
Yeah.
It's
That's what he does, right?
Yeah.
It's mere existence, a challenge to the status quo. For the wrong reasons, if you ask me, but at the very least, he's doing something.
Yeah. No. So if Draconis stops being a consort and marries her, do you think the Highborn will be sort of happy? They would choose
No.
Drag over Urusander. So that's what I'm asking. So what do they want actually? What do these guys want?
Among other things, they want to control him, right? I mean, they don't know that he is an Azathani, right? But he's not particularly malleable. He doesn't give the way to their, challenges and shit, and they hate him for that. And they're also jealous of his power and closeness to Mother Dark. So
the way Emerald, Emerald finds it. Emerald thinks that's the reason for all this hatred for Draconis.
I mean, Karaspala says it. Emerald says it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, when they talk with Urusander, it's like, well, it's obviously born of envy, because they're idiots and they're envious. And no one seems willing to do anything about it. Like, not even Mother Dark. And I don't know why. Well, I can kind of understand Mother Dark's case, because, your husband / consort is a Nazathani. So if people knew that you were shagging a Nazathani, they'd probably get pretty pissed at you. But
why? Why would they be pissed at that? I mean,
all this talk about outsiders and whatnot, probably.
Yeah, but the thing is, do you think the Teist are not aware of how powerful the Azathani are?
Yes.
They're not aware. They just think these guys are like these quaint stonemasons who just show up, and do fun stuff and go. That's what they think, right? And
that's one thing. They're like, So I think like Saren that brought it up to Silcast and Reaper Scale. Like, what about the Elder Gods? And I'm like, oh yeah, well, we came first, but fuck these guys, forget these guys, or all the other guys that came first. The Azathani or the Elder Gods, I guess in this case, were kind of like the strange uncles that would show up every now and then and just like give you some cool treats or something. Like, okay, here's a new bridge. Here's a new, new Hearthstone or something. And Triss calls it like amused condescension. I think that's a bit iffy.
It's not. Like, they're obviously vastly superior, and they're not showing it, right? So
it depends on the person, right? I think so. Triss, like everyone says, like it's like tact, and but like Triss is damaged in some sense by the Vitter, and so she would obviously view this as like amused condescension because she doesn't remember how other people view it. But when you're a much bigger fish in a very small pond, you can't help but view everyone like lesser in many ways. But other Azathani, like Risen, for instance, who will eventually come to Kharkanas to protect the place from other Azathani, because the realm is tearing itself apart. But then you have like Erastus, right? Who is amused and condescending.
But
so it depends on the person and the individual, I think, because and not just like pretty much every Azathani fits the bill, like male or cruel, associated with mortals in a non-condescending, non-amused, well, amused certainly, not condescending manner. Or where does Draconis fit into this? I don't know. It kind of depends on like when we're talking, because you have like memories of Ice Draconis, like enough with your prattling, and I'm here to curse you, and then you have like Dust of Dreams Draconis, like okay, come here, Blello, we're gonna go for a walk, you and I. So it's not just amused condescension, but there's definitely this sense of superiority that the dice are unaware of. That's what I'm getting at. So yes. But
no, that's what these people have been thinking. They're being tactful and nice to them, but it's like being nice to a puppy or something. There's no comparison, right, between their powers. Because we don't see Draconis or any of the Azathana interact much with the Teist. Do we see them? We don't. Like Grizzin?
I mean, there's Quizen, yes.
It's just like, I don't know, one drunken campfire singing and dancing. Does it count?
We don't see them yet. It happens a lot later because Quizen goes to
Okay.
Kharkanas and talks to Silkas and all of that. And I guess Grizzin might be like the only one, actually, now that I think about it.
Grizzin is an exception to the rule in many ways, right?
Yeah. And they
So
killed
then-
him for it, the bastards.
So chapter 9, we have
No boy. So
Rise Herat?
Triss happened. So what do you want to talk about in chapter 9? Because there's a lot.
Oh, for me personally, I really enjoyed the fantasy sequence of this goddess out of the sea who walks into the city and the river floods out, cleanses everything in her path, and she meets the mini goddess there, sanctifies her, and disappears. It's so magical. It's like perfect myth. It's so beautiful. I totally enjoyed that. We stay so much closer to the story. Like we know exactly what's happening. Like she resurrected the river god, and she tells them that this is what happens, and then she has this long dialogues and all that. But you boil all those things down, it just comes down to a proper, a myth of some people, right? Of these people, that just this creature walked out and brought gifts to the people there, and then in an ideal world they lived happily ever after, right? So I totally enjoyed that, the sequence of Triss. And yeah, that's pretty much what I really want to talk about. And also Rise Herat. I don't know, Rise is always someone who just stood out. Does he come up again? Because
Yeah.
he does. Yeah, I don't know, we have doubt, but interesting history.
For more on Rise, I'm going to probably, if I remember, leave a link to Alex's video on him because he analyzes him much more than I do. Because I don't remember much from Rise Herat.
Alex is also like, I think he studied history or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know more insight.
But what I want to point out about Rise and Trace especially is we get pretty much the same page count for Rise Herat having this morning ritual of like observing the city and teaching a child, as we have the birth of light and dark. The whole
that
premise of the story.
Off screen, right? The whole.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, but at least we are told that time twists inside the chamber. So, if there are some major things that have happened there, we are just not. We don't know that information. That's all.
Yeah. But what I mean is like our narrator has much more important things to show you than just like mundane shit. Like, oh yeah, just some god has walked in. No. I have to make a point here. I have to show you about like Kharkanas and why you are watching a city that's like greatly expanding without regard for nature. And I need to make a point through a historian who's jaded and sick of his own shit.
And point out how deficient this child's education is. At the height of the city, at the citadel itself, nobody cares.
Yep. And but then, by the way, some god has walked in and sanctified the place. But never mind that. We have more important things to attend to.
But that makes sense, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you already know light is. Yeah, I'm not saying you didn't say that. Whatever. See, the thing is, we already know this happened. That light and dark, they have to exist in balance, and the only thing we didn't know was that Triss is involved in this somehow, and that's all the information we needed here. But what about the rest? We don't know how messed up Teist is and how much the city is struggling, the whole city of Kharkanas, and how much they deserve civil war, which is I think what Galar is. I think his whole thesis is why the Teist needed this civil war to happen. I think that's the whole story. No?
I don't know about it being necessary or how much they needed it. I think it's we said before, right? I've said before. You've said before. You said in the last episode, I think, how it's a cautionary tale, right? Because this shit's still ongoing. This exact thing that's being portrayed here is too real.
Yeah.
It happened, And so I think that's mostly what like Galan's trying to portray. Not that they needed a civil war to reform their society. It's like reform your society before the civil war happens. Otherwise, you're gonna end up like those.
It is just like a justification propaganda to say that it has already happened, and he's trying to like create backstories to conspiracy. Yeah, maybe once I finish, we should.
Yeah. Just ask Steve, like, did Galan make all of this shit up? Did he just dream it in a fever dream?
No, like things happen, but then I don't know. He wanted to save some powerful people, so he went and made propaganda literature and called it Kharkanas. Who knows? No, sorry. Yeah,
maybe. I mean, I've said weirder shit about Kharkanas, so.
Yeah, I mean, see, the series is not complete, so all interpretations are valid, right?
Yeah. Right. So,
do you want to talk about Emerald or Sintara?
No, boy.
No? Oh, boy.
Yeah, sure. No, I brought it up a few times, but like chapter 9 is just really fucking dense with symbolism, so it might take some time here off and just go off, if you'd excuse me. So,
yeah,
Emerald is interesting. Okay, Emerald is like cognizant of what's going on. She is aware of. She's kind of like Celine in a way. She knows like where this faith is going. The problems of having a priesthood like this. The problem of living without answers. And she feels in a way powerless to stop it because her goddess, the communion with her goddess is frustrating, right? Like she can't speak with Mother Dark very easily. She walks in and like she's in a dark room. She can't see shit. She just has to wait for her goddess to reach out and speak to her. No.
She sort of has some vision, some night vision already.
Sure, she does. But like, is Mother Dark going to actually speak to her? That's up to her, not to Emerald. She doesn't like walk in and just like, okay, hi, I'm going to speak to you now. That's not how that works. The point I'm trying to make
is she talking or not talking. It's about getting answers. Mother Dark is not guiding them.
Sure.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah,
fine. Go on. Nitpick the detail. Fine. Yeah. Okay.
You're just going to call this semantics or nitpicking or something. Yeah.
Semantics. Okay. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, the point I'm trying to make is that Emerald is cognizant of the shortcomings of the cult of Mother Dark, right? Sintara mentioned like they're making a religion here, and what's all the resistance for? And she's like, well, from resistance comes truth, right? We need to resist. We need to take our time. We need to not make the expedient solution because, well, for one, that's not what our goddess would want, and for two, that's like misanthropic to the point of being actually like funny in a way. Like Renth, the guy who at the end of chapter 10 is almost a caricature, but he's so played off normally that like this is the norm, that these people are not even enticed. And
yeah.
Emerald kind of knows that if they rush into things, well, and Mother Dark knows, and this comes up later again, that this could become the norm in the religion itself. There's a quote later in Full of Light about, Mother Dark asking Emerald to describe to her the infidel, the apostate, the heretic, the heathen, because surely one day you will make them, and you will kill them in my name. And Emerald knows that might happen, and she's trying to avoid it, but Sintara is rushing into things headlong, and along with her come the rest of the priestesses. But she's not concerned with that. Yes?
Can I interrupt you? Do you realize how many of these phrases we keep using are all straight from the prelude? Like, Kalam has just given us all these words to use, right? So, yeah, go on, please. Sintara is rushing headlong.
Oh, fuck it. Oh, I did say that, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
You didn't even realize it.
I didn't even realize, no.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah. She's rushing onward, right? She's going forth because we did say that she's insecure, she is vain, she is very, very insecure. But Emerald is not particularly concerned with all of this. She's not particularly concerned with worldly matters. She is more concerned with herself, right? And how her outlook, how her legacy will be received, because she wishes to change position with like the woman in the mirror, because the woman in the mirror is more youthful, more energetic, more able to affect change, more perfect. Yes, she isn't. She needs answers because she's old, and if she doesn't get answers sometime soon, if her goddess isn't there to guide her and the rest of the people with ice, nothing's gonna get done. And she talks a lot, yeah.
I'm sorry, I just once, it doesn't have any bearing, but I'm reading Troll the Hounds right now, and today I read the whole thing about the Barrow scene with Sir Domin and Redeemer. So the whole thing about, in my silence, you have every choice in the world, right? By not giving answers, you guys are free, and it's such a nice. It's all the same, right? From the Redeemer to this river god who was killed by the monastery people, to Mother Dark and Father Light and everyone. It's the same thing. It's all the same thing.
So I did ask you yesterday to hold some thought. I forgot what that was.
Oh God, I don't know. What is it?
It was something you said. I don't remember. I fucking forgot, and now I feel stupid. But yeah.
Was it about Emerald and her mirror imagery or something?
It was something about like Mother Dark and like Father Light and all of that, and not doing anything. But
okay, doesn't matter.
Emerald and Santara are kind of like Selene and the opposite. The characters who are pushing Selene to take action.
Yeah.
Because Emerald knows that they're not doing this for their god. Like, Sandara is going on and like, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to accept Honral, and then I'm going to like accept my gift, and then I'm going to sanctify everything, and I'm going to declare we just hand our Father Light, and we're going to win this peace for the realm over the bodies of whomever decides to stand against us.
Yeah.
And like, then you have Mother Dark in the chamber, like, win this peace for me. But how do you want me to do that? Don't raise a sword. But how the fuck do I win a peace with a sword? No, just do it. It's like the stark difference, and Emerald knows that difference. Sandara doesn't.
Yeah.
And yes, they are both ambitious. They're both venal. Sandara is super vain. Emerald isn't. She's old. But like, she knows doubts. Like, we see Selene from before she knows doubts. We see Emerald after she's known doubt. And it really... And when what does Triss tell her? Hang on, I'm going to find the quote.
Tell whom?
Can you take this over from here?
Sorry. Okay, so when we're talking about not raising a sword and all that, to win the peace non-violently, the one thing I have to think, which I have to bring up, is I should be thinking about my countryman, Gandhi, whose whole philosophy of non-violence. Let's not get politics here. I don't want to talk politics, but the whole philosophy of it, the whole idea of non-violent resistance. I don't know. Erickson does this whole exploration of violence across so many books. You're just going to let me talk, right? So even Rejoice, the whole basis of Rejoice is that what would happen to humanity if there was no violence? If nobody could draw a sword, can you actually can you actually establish peace? And at the basis of all law is oppression, and how do you enact it? It's with violence. It's all the same, right? So how does Mother Dark expect someone like Rake to win peace non-violently? Or like, yeah, did you find your quote?
Yeah. So basically, Triss turns to Emerald after telling Anomander that I will make a defiance with the new visible, and tells her, "Your sorrow, High Priestess, is lonely." Yeah. And you are driven to share your truths. I advise against it. Give voice to your secrets, and you will be rejected by those for whom you care the most.
Yeah.
What are those secrets?
I don't know. Do you know?
I can guess, and that is her faith has been shaken, right? Because for the very same reason that like Anomander's faith is shaken, that she asks him, win this peace for me, but I don't know how. And when people are dying in mass, like when the Leosin are slaughtering fools. When there's a pogrom against the deniers ongoing, when like the whole thing on Anesdia's house happens, when all of that goes on, and Mother Dark's like, no, we have to be peaceful about this. And like, what? And then when Mother Dark like speaks cryptically or vague, and she just doesn't tell Emerald what she wants her to do, because okay, you want me to be nice, I'll be nice, but these people aren't being nice, and they're better off. And a lot of this has to do with spirituality, and who's really better off: the altruist, the guy who's giving, the the people who are being generous of spirit, or the cruel, vindictive, spiteful bastards that will walk over corpses to get power, like Hunral or Shintara. And
such an unbiased question.
For most Deist, I think the answer will be the latter, right?
Mm-hmm.
These people are better off. They're powerful. They have power. But we know better.
Do we? Do we really?
Well, we know better as readers, not as people. We know better because, we have seen that power is nothing more than like a means to stave off fear, but if you keep living in fear, then what need have you for power? It's meaningless and it's illusion. And in many like real world religions, like Christianity, to encourage such behavior in the faithful, there's the notion of afterlife, of paradise beyond death that it's put in. There's also, an allusion to this in Harara, the City of the Fallen, in the Bone Hunters, in Phaliston's Cult. There is...
And I think Jannat brings up something to Tanal?
Probably.
Yeah. There is a...
And there's also, the Redeemer, right, who will absolve you of your sins.
No matter what.
No matter what. So you can go forth into the afterlife a free man, right? But here you don't have any of that. Being nice isn't enough of a reward on its own for the Deist to justify such generosity of spirit. But in Mother Dark's eyes,
just like us.
Yeah, I mean,
it's too uncomfortably close. Yeah.
And that's like Emerald's secret, right? Like, you would not speak to us. We don't know what you want from us. We don't see the reward. Why keep the faith when the cards seem stacked against us? Why not just be like them? Where's the reward from the world for being good?
Yeah.
And she says that, and then Mother Dark gets pissed at her.
This comes up soon, is it? Or in
it's the last chapter of Hall of Light.
Oh, God.
Not particularly soon.
Yeah, okay.
It takes 2 entire books from Mother Dark to actually be upfront with what she wants from her faithful, and it's basically just do no harm. Don't harm people. Don't hurt people.
Yeah. I mean, she already told them that. Don't draw your sword with the piece. She's already...
Yeah.
It's pretty clearly spelled out, right?
I mean, they're not ready to listen. Maybe. But
not they're not ready to listen. Like, Rake is like ordering new swords, so he's not in a mood to like keep them hidden or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Should we do you have anything more, or shall we go to... I'm sure you have something more. Yeah, go on.
God, I forgot what I think. So my thoughts were jumping ahead to like Hunral and Dara, but do we have something to say about Triss?
No, that's fine. We can move to Sintara.
So
can I just say, sorry?
Yes.
That section I listened to on audiobook, and it's extremely well done. I just love that so much because it is. Did you listen to it? No?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's good. It's good. He makes Hunral the drunken, slurred bits, and it's really good. And the whole dynamic comes through so well. And do you think Sintara was actually drunk? I don't think she was. She was just pretending to be so that Hunral would get more complacent with her. And feel more comfortable opening up. That's what I thought. Even though she drank so much, she has the light in her, so maybe it doesn't affect her.
Ooh.
No?
Well, like that's pretty much exactly what Honral does. Like he drinks so much, but he doesn't actually like ever
No,
fully
no, no,
drunk.
no, no. See, there is a difference. What Hunral
There is a
does,
difference.
there is, because he's a serial drinker. He's constantly, he's an alcoholic, right? So he can maintain a constant blood alcohol level and not really get high. That's what he does. That's different.
Constant blood alcohol. Right. Okay.
Yeah, in the sense he has to keep drinking to maintain it. Otherwise, he'll go into this delirium tremens and withdrawal symptoms. But he doesn't have to like completely get sloshed. The amount of alcohol he drinks would probably affect you or me, but an actual alcoholic, it will not affect.
Yeah. Like that's what it looks like to others. Like he's getting sloshed constantly, but he never drinks quite enough to be like actually
Like
drunk.
he doesn't
so
lose
he's like
his
drunk
senses or anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
No,
just
I
to
don't
maintain.
know if
Like,
Wandara did the same. Maybe.
no, I think Sintara just gobbles like 3 glasses and then immediately sobers up because she has the light in her. That's what I thought. It doesn't affect her.
Maybe.
And she has important stuff to do. She has to go find Father Light, make him Father Light first of all. And
Okay, so what I wanted to say about this is
sorry.
So this probably no one will know of this, but I got wasted one night, like about 5 days ago,
Okay.
and
Oh, that.
I was ranting a whole fuck ton about Honral, and the gist is he has a very high opinion of himself, like a really high opinion of himself, and basically, how do I put this? He's an idiot.
You just kept saying he's a fucking idiot. He's a fucking idiot. I think
he's an ambitious, venal, drunk idiot, to put it bluntly. I think I can't put it any more bluntly than that. But the scene starts off like Shintaro walks in and it's like, okay, well, I know that you want to basically bring your bloodline back to prominence. And it's like, no, I don't want to do anything like that. We're not all
that.
as base as you, Shintaro. And then Shintaro goes on about basically the same fucking thing about I want power, I want to be recognized, I want Emerald dead. And you're like, oh, she's like me. She's exactly like me. It's like, okay, we know this fucker contradicts himself constantly. That's the point. We've seen it from like his first appearance.
Yeah.
We did this in our first episode, but holy shit, dude. Like, the amount of, and that's like, at the end of the day, that's, in my opinion, what makes Hunral compelling is he is cruel, he is efficient, he is good at what he does, but he is base. Yeah. He's so petty, he's so small, he's so like, you've seen one villain like this, you've seen everyone. All of them are just different flavors of the same villain. And if they're good villains, yeah, but they're base. They're not particularly deep or nuanced or complex.
Mm-hmm.
And Galan just fucking nails him.
Yeah, I have one doubt about Hunral. He keeps denying that he's not in this to restore his bloodline or anything. Does he really mean it? Because it comes up constantly.
It gets brought up later, obviously, about the difference between the legions and the average legionnaires' perception of justice and restitution and Eurosander's concept of justice and restitution. But what he considers to be just at this point is probably that his bloodline's restored, because he has a much better claim than everyone else. That the Legion is recognized for their deed, which is noble, but that would also, as we saw from Riz, probably encompass a large purge of anyone who ever opposed them. And I'm sure he doesn't see it like a power grab or ambition. It's just, right? It's only natural. Like it's.
Oh, you think
he's a reactionary dipshit?
Okay.
So yeah, he probably thinks it's like the only right thing to do. Like, we have a claim to the throne, but we didn't go and take it because it's for the good of the realm. Of course, I became like a soldier under Lord Eurosander. I took a blade for him. It's only. And then we get to the next chapter with someone who also took a blade for him and died.
Who's that?
Renar's mother, Captain Shallas.
Oh, Okay. Okay. Okay.
and
Because
so you
it's
can see the
well,
difference between one and how one fared and how the other fared.
right. We'll see.
So who is really being just here? But what I mean is, at the end of the day, Raul is just a bland, base, ambitious prick, and Galan knows it, and he doesn't even give him a hint of nuance.
And he's
He,
amazing. He's so much
and
fun to
he's
read.
amazing. He
Yeah.
is. He is. He's fun. He's a great archetype, but that's all he is. He's not like he's not Draconis. He's not Rake. He's not like deep or complex or particularly interesting beyond I just want my bloodline back, and I'm going to literally kill anyone that stands in my way to get it.
I don't know.
He does, and he does really well.
Yeah. He's smart in those things. I think you should give him some credit because he's able to do what he wants to do, right? Okay. So any thoughts on Sedorpul? And then we can wind up.
Cedric, the guy who gloriously misses every point all the time. He is the antithesis of Santara, right? He is this a bit dull, a bit vain, a bit like, oh well, whatever, who gives a shit anyway? It's all in my dark's name. Like, oh yeah, I'm be having like a fuck ton of sex, but it's for the good of the priesthood or something.
Yeah.
And
No, it's a whole. Each time he's contradicted, he gets pissed off, and then
I
finally
think
he's
just weighs
mad
it up,
enough.
like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. It's just, oh dear, I chose like really shit company this night. So he's just another expression of the decadence of Lane as a whole.
Yeah, yeah.
So he is somewhat important later, but I don't remember much
Right.
to say for sure.
So, if nothing else, you have anything
I
else?
mean, unless you want to get like Sukul or something.
Sukul, yeah. I mean, we've already established her age is in the double digits, and we already love ribs. And it's probably Burn or a version of Burn whom they meet there. What else is there to talk about Sukul? At least in this chapter, like, this is all I remember. I don't know if anything else
not
comes
very
to
much
fruition.
happens. Like in general, it's like the characterizations and overall how like children are portrayed as much more pure and innocent and more cognizant of the world around them than the adults.
Yeah.
I don't know. You have like Rennek, you have Sukul, you have Orphantal, you have Arathan, who child might be pushing it.
Yeah, yeah.
But like the young people, or Renar in the next chapter.
Yeah.
Well, the next chapter, you get the point.
Chapter 12,
But,
yeah.
And then you have like Henrold wanting to return to childhood, and then this, what is being shown here? Why is this Sukul so different from, well, Dapple, right? The fickle goddess of leader.
Because they're not the same. That's all. I'm not going to accept any other answer. They're not the same. They just have the same name, probably.
They have the same name, and they look the same, and they have like the same family and the same upbringing.
There is no such description here. Did you notice anything? She was not described at all.
She's not Andy, or she's not like Dapple yet. So obviously,
I thought that was like a type of a skin condition or something. She's called Dapple because she has this piebaldism or something. That's that's the way I read it.
My interpretation was like she's both. Like she's like a mix of Andy and Leosun. It depends on where her allegiance lies.
Oh, so both of them blessed her, and then some parts of her skin turned white and some turned black.
Because she's like a betrayer, right? That's the view of her in Eater mythology. That she like betrays people. She's fickle, and she's
being fickle is not a bad thing, because
I mean,
I've been called fickle many times, so that's that's the only reason.
But yeah, let's not get into the implications of all of that now.
No, it doesn't matter.
I think I also brought up like yeah.
Go on.
Yes. Oh no. What I wanted to say is like I had also brought up a bunch of points like last recording about impermanence and the nature of the victor and all of that. But So just getting into here because we already got like way too long, and I don't remember what the point I was trying to make was.
If you remember, we'll just do a small recording later on. Why not?
But yeah, I think the point I was trying to get to is Triss's new view of the Vitter in this chapter. Like, the Thais consider the Vitter to be their enemy. It's not yada yada. Compared to like chapter 7, where we're like, oh, actually no, the Vitter is your enemy.
No, she. I think when she says that to Farrowhand, it was sort of like, this is what you consider. It was more like a question than an observation, is what I thought. The Thais
I think it has
consider
to
the Vitter as
do
an enemy.
with her flawed memory, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Because
But
now
how
she
do you
remembers
think-
more than she did last time. Yeah.
Resh calls it she got the blood into the chamber, and then he says it's the Vitter. So does the Azathanai have like Vitter blood or something? How did she even carry it inside? It just says
Symbolism.
fine, right? That's a great answer. Yeah.
No, I mean it is. I think Triss calls it like the essence of vitality, or no, she calls it an excess of vitality. But
Excess, yeah.
the Vitter
And then it
is.
says it destroys, it does not create anything. And
Yeah, but evidently it does.
so, as I think you said that Cam mentioned, it's a flux.
Yeah,
right?
it's a flux.
So it
It's
can be all
yeah,
of those things. So no contradictions. It's everything.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I'm sure there was a point that we're trying to make eventually, but we're already going on too long, so I'm just gonna stop here, probably,
Okay.
because anything more I say on the Twitter is gonna take like 15 minutes, and I don't have time for that. So, do we have anything else to add about general like impressions of the chapters? Which
No,
we already
I think
went
we
in chapter
should
9 about
take note
so.
that this is almost like the halfway mark of the book at 10 chapters.
It is. It's like,
but it's not 50%.
48%.
It's 48%.
It's like 48%.
True, but still, it's fairly fun. We had like 20% or so of setup, and now things have started happening.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see. But as far as I remember, there is no convergence, so that was a bit disappointing for me. I was so prepared for like the last 100, 200 pages to be like non-stop, and it was not.
Everyone is, right? I think that's like one of the main things of Kharkanas. Like, everyone expects it to be like the Book of the Fallen, who like, oh, it's going to be a big convergence and all that. And no. Like, Galan told you, no, it's not going to be like that. No.
Galan didn't tell you. It's just you interpret it that way because you finished the book and you think, yeah, maybe he warned us that there is not going to be any convergence. But all right. So, thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. And the next episode should be chapters 11 and 12.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? So, it's going to be fun. It's about Raskan and Renar. Twin upset chapters. It will be fun. All right. Good night. Thanks, Lee.
Good night. Thank you, Mora.